Okay, we have done till now. Now comes the most important question that, okay, now I know that I have to invest 35% into large cap. Which fund should I be choosing? There are 40 mutual fund houses, which means 40 large cap funds available in the market. And when we go and search on the websites, every time you look for top performing funds, every time you will find a new result, that sometime X fund house ka large cap fund is doing good, and next somebody else is doing good, and third somebody else is doing good. So we don't understand which one is doing, which one is the best one for me, right? Then how do I choose the fund house, which fund house or which fund to pick up out of that large cap, mid cap, small cap? So the parameters that you would start working on when you start doing this exercise, first is that fund house's size, as in terms of the assets that they are managing. What are the number of, what is that AU? It is called AUM, assets under management. How much of money that they are managing as a brand. So if I say HDFC Fund House or ICICI or SBI or Reliance for that matter, now it's Nippon, or Mirai, Axis, these brands, how much money they are managing. And this information is available to you on most of the websites. It's available on their websites as well. Or you can go and check on AMFI website. AMFI is a regulatory body for mutual funds. It's available freely, open information available on the websites. Even if you go to every fund house's website, you will get it. You'll get it on Money Control, you will get it on Value Research websites. Go and first check if I'm choosing large cap, then which are the top funds, how much AUM they are managing, what is their fund size. The next step is how many years since they are managing these funds, what is their vintage, what is their experience in managing the funds, how long have they been in this industry, right? This is next process. And then check who is the fund manager managing, and since when that fund manager is associated with them. Has he joined them recently, or has he joined and working with that fund house for a very, very long time? Who is managing that fund since beginning? How many times fund managers have changed? These are the parameters that you would go and check. All this information is available to you on every fund house's website. They have something called as fact sheet. It is available in that. The information is available in that. Then comes, every fund house comes up with the communication which talks about how do they manage their funds. They mention how is the stock selection process by them. What are the risk controls that they have? What do they, when do they decide to exit, when they buy, what type of industries that they would go and select when they select the stocks. So they mention this also in the documents, and that is also available on the websites. They also give sometimes interviews on major news channels, and they do explain, they do put up videos of these conversations on their websites. So this gives you an idea as to what type of funds, what type of process that they have in place. This is the next step that you would follow in choosing. The fourth thing that you need to look at is nothing comes at free cost, right? Everything is chargeable. So every fund, as per the regulator, they are allowed to charge certain percentage as their fund management charges. So you can go and then check. Suppose there are 10 large cap funds come in your research. Now, out of these 10, which one should I choose? And 2 or 3 everything seems to be fine with them. Then what is the next parameter that you choose is what are the charges between those 3. Whichever one is lowest charges, that is what you would choose, because the lower the charges, the better the returns for you, right? So that is the fourth step that you would choose. And if once that is also done, there are certain parameters which are risk, and how do they manage their risk control and all that. So there are certain statistical parameters which are available, but that calls for a detailed study. So that's not easily understandable by everybody. So you can just go by the first 4 process and pick up the funds. As long as the fund size is big and they have decent experience in managing and the processes are very transparent, fund charges are low, we are good to go. The reason why we are good to go is, see, our investment goals are for long term. We are not here starting to invest or create a framework for investment for next 1 month, 2 months, or 1 year. When we are investing in equity, we've decided that it is meant for long term and creating large wealth for us. That comes with time. So all these, as long as these parameters are in place, we are good to choose the fund and go ahead. Okay. So this process you can follow for large cap, mid cap, small cap, and so on and so forth. Now, there is another question that comes up always, that every fund house comes up with some new fund. Okay, they come up with something new, and there are a lot of advertisements and publicity about that new fund, saying that this is one of the best for your investment portfolio. Now there is always this confusion: should I be taking it or should I not be taking it? So my simple point here is, once you have this framework saying that I have 80-20 framework, suppose, and I decided that I have so much of large cap, mid cap, and small cap. Once this framework is decided, you already have a full plan ready. So there's no need to add every new fund that comes into the market. Like when we see in our consumer durables or any other products that are available, we don't need everything that is getting launched. It's just that people launch because they are also business houses. They need to launch something new, so they are doing it. So it does not mean that everything that is getting launched, we need to own it. That exercise you can do once in a year. Should I be changing my asset allocation? Should I be changing any of the investment plan? When you do that, then you can go again and check whether should I be continuing with this fund or what should I be doing, right? At that point in time, you can check, but it's not necessary that just because the information is coming in front of you, then there is something new fund and there is nice ad about it, we should own it. Not necessary. Similarly, recently there are a lot of IPOs which have come up. So everybody wanted to invest into IPOs. Not necessary. I mean, you have a plan in place for the entire year and you keep contributing that much amount of money, you're good to go. You will make money with it once the framework is fine, once the framework is proper and right. We can move to the next slide. Yeah, so as I mentioned in the last slide, how do you choose between large cap, mid cap, small cap? What can you expect from them? Large cap, risk of negative returns is a little bit lower than mid cap and high cap. Probability of exceptionally high returns is low in large cap. They are like moderate always. Liquidity is good because they are large companies. Company availability, information availability is very good. So we discussed this in our last masterclass as well. So when it comes to mid cap, risk is little high. When it comes to small cap, risk is very high, so on and so forth, right? These are also certain expectations that you should understand before choosing the funds. Yeah, and always keep revising, going back to these basics, that what can you expect? Because we are all emotional human beings, right? When we see something extraordinary returns, we tend to feel that mere paas bhi hona chahiye tha. I should have also got that returns, right? So whenever you get stuck with that emotional trauma, that I should have got this, or I missed taking this opportunity, go back to basics. Go back why you started at first place and what was the agenda, why you decided a particular fund, and where are you, what were your expectations then, and where have you reached. That is more rational way of approaching your investment plans. Can we go to the next slide?